Hi, it's Chris Prefontaine. I want to chat with you today about IRA investing, specifically how to set that up, where to go to get more information, and then we're going to talk about some actual live deals to get you involved in the different profits. Basically, though, any deal you've seen in our deal structuring, any deal, can be done inside of the structure I'm going to show you. So typically, when you set up your IRA, what's going to happen is most people understand a self-directed IRA to be, okay, I'll put my Roth, in my opinion, into the self-directed administrator. In our case, we use Quest. And then every time I do a deal, I'll get what's called a letter of direction of investment, and I'll have them send me that $100 deposit or whatever it is. Let's call it $500. And then that deal will be consummated. Quest IRA for benefit of, FBO, for benefit of your name or whoever's name the IRA is in, is who will be doing the deal, not you. But quite frankly, doing one deal at a time like this and getting permission and paperwork and all that is a major pain in the butt. Now, you're going to want to go to my podcast, Smart Real Estate Coach Podcast.com. You're going to want to watch the episode by Quincy Long, the founder and owner of Quest IRA. Then you're going to want to chat with your accountant. And if you need advice on that or help on that, our CPA, our tax specialist Paul Dion, who you may have seen on our website, he can help you. He helps a lot of our associates around the country. So here's a different structure for you instead of that. And I don't want to get too detailed, but I do want you to understand that it exists. Instead of Quest doing one deal at a time and you going through all the paperwork and jumping through all the hoops, how about if you have your IRA, Quest, invest one time, just one time, into an LLC. The LLC is owned by Quest IRA. You can't have anything to do with it. I don't want to get into all the rules, but Quest will help you with that. That's what they specialize in. They'll tell you how to set it up. They'll tell you what to do, what not to do. You can't have family members, no lineal descent, no kids, no nothing messing with that. You can't collude with any of that money because then you're going to negate potentially your entire IRA. So be careful with it. But what happens is you request one time, like you would for a deal, letter of direction of investment. And in my case, my wife and I sent over around $2,000 from our Roth IRAs to an LLC owned by Quest and managed by a different individual, not a family member. So the bank account was set up by him. He's the signer on the account. He's the manager. The owner of the LLC is Quest. Now the money is in this LLC and it can go do all the deals that you see us doing all the time. And guys, this is powerful because it's not just tax-free for that deal. You know, you put a $100 deposit out and all this money comes back in, whether it's a lease purchase or owner financing or whatever it is. But it's also, you can leave that, you can have the people inherit that. You could gift that, you can have people inherit that. And so generations after generations is tax-free. That's pretty cool. Now, I said you can do this in any deal, right? So we could say, go back now, look at all the deal structuring, and all of those deals you can put in here. But let me just give you a few with the time we have here. Okay, so let's do a single family first. This was a expired listing. Again, it doesn't matter. I just want to get you understanding how cool it is. So expired listing. At the time we called this expired listing, you're going to see why I kind of wanted to put it in the IRA instead of personal. And on that note, when would you do this? Well, let's get your cash flow fixed ASAP through becoming one of our associates or through our consulting program. Let's get your cash flow fixed, meaning you got enough to live on, you're comfortable, you're fine. Then let's throw all the other deals into this. Just a thought. Okay, there was a tenant in this property. The owner got divorced and said, I want nothing to do with this. I'll sell it to you for, what we came down to was, we did a $293 mortgage, was in place. Plus I said to him, we'll give you $32,000 cash at the end of the term. And the term we structured was 24 months from the time your tenant leaves or from the time the tenant's lease expires. I had 2 years left on it. And I can convert her to a rent-to-own tenant buyer. She was military, so it was chancy whether she was going to convert or not. Long story short, she didn't. She got orders to go somewhere else out of state. She left very amicably, and we put in a new tenant buyer. Now, just so you know, when you're inheriting tenants, we said to the gentleman wanting to do this deal with us on Sandwich Lease, look, I want to go view the house, and I want your tenant to be home. because I want to interact with them, in this case her, see how they keep the house, ask them questions the whole bit. After doing that, we were comfortable inheriting that tenant. And the IRA only pocketed on payday number 2, and I'm not going to get into what that is, but go to the deal structuring videos and see. But payday 2 was only like $75. It was small. But it went right to the IRA. And then when she was done, we installed a new tenant buyer. When I say payday 2, it was just a tenant, a spread, a cash flow spread. Here's what the deal looked like, and then again, make this applicable to any deal. But the point is, you can do these over and over again, because all we did is my manager of the LLC, owned by Quest, wrote a deposit check to the owner. Okay, that's it for a sandwich lease. The tenant left. This comes to what? 3 1/4? This is about 3 1/4. Tenant left. We installed a tenant buyer for $365,000. You can see there's a $40,000 spread there, right? Okay, as of now, we changed this up a little bit. So $40,000 spread. That would be payday 3 without principal pay down. With this new tenant buyer, we had $11,000 payday number 1. Payday number 2, by the way, straight to the IRA. Straight to the IRA when we had the buyer's meeting, okay? Payday number 2, we created a $393 spread. We gave him a 24-month lease because at the time of this right now stage of the deal, we only had 24 months. Remember, that's how we structured it with the owner. When we put a new tenant buyer in, we have 24 more months. By the way, we got them pre-screened to say they'd be done inside of that time. So there's another approximately $9,400 there. Payday 2s. Now, payday number 3s, I told you we got a 40 grand spread here, right? Payday to 3, 40 grand spread. Less the 11,000 we already got. So let's say we're down to 29,000 plus $600. This mortgage was clicking away at about $600 in, ever so slightly increasing every month, but just to use a round number, $600 a month. 600 times the 48 is another 28 grand. Another 28K. So you got a 57 grand payday 3 here. If you add up all the paydays, I got about 78 grand I'm showing. Now, that would be cool in and of itself, right? And this is soon to cash out as of the time of this filming. But we created a payday 4. We owed the gentleman $32,000 at cash out. Now, we do this a lot. Literally every 6 months, I look at all the properties. If we have some past payday 1s or past payday 3s coming in, we say, oh, we got some cash coming in next month. Let's call some of the owners and see if we can create a payday 4. What is that? Especially when you're putting it into an IRA. It means you call the owner up and say, look, I'm coming across some cash. Instead of $32,000, if you'll be willing to deed the property to me now so I can control it, so I can control my insurance costs, etc., I'm going to be able to pay you X instead of $32,000. Now, I called this gentleman. This happens a lot. And I offered him, I think it was 15 grand. Because we're 2 years ahead of time. We're maybe a year and a half ahead of time. He said, no thanks, I'll wait till the cash out. I don't need the money. This happens a lot, like several times per year. 4 or 5 months later, he called me and said, is that offer still on the table? We negotiated back and forth, came down to $20,000. So I paid him $20,000 instead of $32,000. So we just created another $12,000 in a payday number 4. That's pretty cool, and you can use that all the time. You can call an owner financing deal in early. You can change it over to subject to. You can do whatever you want. Now, we created a payday 4 here, but we also took ownership. We went from a sandwich, transferred it to a subject to. So now, if this tenant buyer doesn't get cashed out right away, do I really stress out? No. Am I calling this tenant buyer, by the way, and saying, how you doing with the credit repair? How are you doing with your mortgage? Which I would if the 24 months was ticking. No, we're not calling them. Now, they happen to be one of the better buyers that we've ever put in a home, luckily enough, but I'm not going to call them and push them at all. I hope they keep going and going and going. We own the house now, okay? So that's it, but the whole lesson here was to parlay money into your IRA tax-free for life and for your kids' life and for your grandkids' life. Thanks so much for watching that video. I'm going to try to come out with more and more deal structuring videos so that you know exactly how to navigate the sometimes tricky waters of doing deals all on your terms. That means no cash, no credit, no chasing investors, none of that. You being able to navigate on deals. Now, how would you like to do those deals on your own? like clockwork, every single month, eventually one a week. How would you like to do that? How would you like to be putting those 3 paydays in your pocket that consistently? Well, there's one way to do it if you haven't done it yet, and that's to jump on our Quantum Leap System home study program. It's right here below. Click the link, grab the QLS. If you're serious about making this year your breakthrough year, you'll be able to do the same deal structuring that we're showing right now. The big difference is, instead of watching, you'll be putting the dollars in your pocket. Hey, be sure to subscribe below as well so you don't miss any of these videos. Look, I don't know if you're going to take action on the QLS. You should right below here, but if you don't, definitely don't miss any of these videos. Subscribe below, and I look forward to seeing you on the future videos. Take care.